Hello, people. It's Jen with JVinco, and JVinco is my online shop. We've got original drawings on all types of different items, shirts, hoodies, bags, mugs, all kinds of things. So just looking at the website here, got it broken into men's, women's, children's, uh, and then just into some other categories per item. My teenage son and I started drawing some kind of funny, dry sense of humor type illustrations and started putting them on items for purchase. So if you get a chance, feel free to take a look at jvinco.com and see what we have there. We're always adding new items. So thanks for joining me today. I just wanted to share what I've been working on. I started putting together a journal for my sister. We grew up together, and so we have a lot of shared memories, but I have a good memory and she does not. So I wanted to put a book together for her of some of the funny things that have happened over the years. And so I started that process and wanted to share that with you. So here, that journal off to the left with the spiral bound, I started the process in that book, but I didn't really like the spiral bound for this project, so I got a hardback journal from Michaels and decided to transfer just the couple of things that I got going on this journal to that new book. So that first item there that I just trimmed is a letter to my sister, just kind of telling her what this book is for and what I've included in there. It's just a funny little welcome letter, kind of. And I left a spot there at the bottom for a really awesome picture of me as a teenager in my pink room with my pink flowery bedspread, and my my braces are showing. And yeah, I look like a boy, or so my 7-year-old son told me. In that picture, I have my hair kind of back behind my head. So you'll see it in a second here. So I wanted that to just be at the beginning of the book, obviously, to give her an idea of what it is. It's right there at the beginning, so very organized approach. And there I just showed you I've got my Canon Ivy printer, which is a great, it's similar to a sprocket. You can print um, like journal-sized photos on paper that has a sticker back. This next part here, I'm just trimming. All I had started on the next page was putting together a background for the first page after the letter. And um, personally, I'm not super into floral patterns, especially like pastel florals, but these first few pages in the book are about my grandma. And so my sister and I would visit her when she lived in her own townhouse. And then actually, most of my childhood, I would say middle of elementary school on, or maybe end of elementary school, she lived with us in our basement. She had her own apartment. So that was fun to have grandma right downstairs. So we would go down there and play cribbage with her, or she'd cook us dinner sometimes. And she loved floral patterns. Her robe, her mug, her wallpaper, everything all over the place, her couch. So I just thought my sister would find it pretty funny to see all the floral patterns in there. So that's why I'm just jamming any manner of floral patterns together on those pages. And what's good is I already had that particular page glued down in that first notebook, so it's really just thicker paper, just stabilizing, making the journal thicker, making the page heavier, which is good. Just want to be careful when you have a book like this with fixed pages. You might want to rip a few of them out, which I ended up doing off camera to give some room so the book doesn't get really chunky. Um, and so they're just putting in more background and being stingy with the amount of Mod Podge I allowed myself so that I don't know, I guess just trying to be really frugal with the Mod Podge, but that's what I use to glue the paper in. Sometimes glue sticks aren't the best for gluing in thicker paper. Um, Also, when it dries, it's kind of crinkly and it sometimes can lift on pieces. So if you're trying to kind of stabilize your background and glue it in, then I would use a liquid glue. Um, and I go through phases of which glues I use, but Mod Podge works, you know. Blocking the background like that into those 4 distinct sections works for my project because I have different things that I want in those sections. That washi tape that I'm putting down the middle kind of ties it together. There's a little bit of foil in that design as well, but breaking it up can be helpful. And there I'm just looking to make a little tip in, like a little door, so I can include all of that stuff. So I'm putting a file box picture on the front of that because when we would visit our grandma in her townhouse, she had a box of toys for us, 4 toys. One was that orange bear-shaped notepad, arguably maybe not a toy, a green plastic pail, a set of really cheap plastic dominoes, and then a 200 to 300 piece fall themed puzzle that was definitely missing some pieces. And she kept those in the box behind the chair for when we'd visit. And so, word to the wise, bring your own toys and things to be entertained with when you went to grandma's, or you were probably going to be kind of bored or making up all manner of different games with those items, as I did. So, good practice for the imagination. So there I am using some leafy washi to tip that in, and then labeling it toy box with some kind of script shiny red letters. Those I don't anticipate will hold on that well, so I might have to go back in there and add some liquid adhesive to the back of those so they'll stay. They're kind of flimsy, skinny little letters, so I'm not sure that they will stick all that well, especially on washi, which is kind of waxy or slippery. On the left side there, I put a picture of my grandma with my oldest son when he was a baby, um, and it's a cute picture and fun, uh, fun to have a picture of her with one of the grandkids. So yeah, I just keep jumping back and forth. I have sped this video up. It's going 2 times speed, and I cut a lot of it out, you guys. It took probably 2 hours of me doing this, but to be fair, was distracted by stuff going on around me um, and took some breaks and stuff. So I did a lot of the planning process while I was making the page, so it took a little bit longer. Um, There I'm just gluing on some of the games we would play when we went to visit her, always cribbage and Skippo, other card games. Um, so I wanted to tip those in so that I would have some room uh, to journal about those. Right there, I've got that tag there, and I just put one of her quotes. She was always singing little things or saying really goofy things, um, and so my whole family has these quotes that we remember her saying all the time. She's no longer with us, unfortunately, um, but it's fun to remember these funny things she said. And then I'm also tipping in that oval with her picture on it because on the back there I have all the information, a list of her siblings, um, and I had to get some intel from my mother about those siblings. I only got to meet 1 or 2 of them, as my grandma was the youngest, but she had some pretty funny little things to say, little descriptors about each person. My favorite was one of one of the aunts, one of my grandma's sisters. She said was foul-mouthed but nice, so that's pretty entertaining. So I just included that information on there for my sister to read through and be able to reference. So I just did all of the journaling off camera there and finished up under those tip-ins. And um, it's a lot of work to put together a journal and fill the journal for another person, but I would say that whenever I make something personalized for a family member, something like this, they're always super into it, and it's just such a nice thing to share with someone, especially if you have a family member that doesn't live near you. So thanks for watching. I'll be sharing another video soon. More pages in this journal and some daily journaling.